Hi everyone, Frederick here, Simple System Trading. This video is about the Speedblocks study. It's been updated with a new feature and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. This video chart setup is a 500 tick chart on the left and a 5-minute chart on the right, both on crude oil. It's for demonstration purposes, so I try to keep it as clean as possible. No studies loaded yet, so we're going to go and have a look at that Speedblocks bundle here. It's got two studies, a bar duration study and a Colorblock study. Bar duration is the support study. You will need to load that on the chart you want to measure your bar duration. So we load that on the 500 tick chart. That study in itself doesn't show you anything unless you choose to. You could choose to say, well, I want to actually see that bar duration and I want to have a look at it. That's possible. So you can have a look at it and plot it on one of those panels here. You could do that to have a general sense of what is for your market a normal speed, an average speed, and a high speed. If you look at this general direction here, you see the low end is at the 10-ish and the high end is at 140-ish, and super high end goes even further, but that's of course at another time period. So when market is open, you can kind of get a gauge for what is speed look like. All right, here. What is average, what is slow, what is fast. So that's something you could use to just have a quick view on speeds, at least duration here. The other study is the Colorblock study. That's the big one. That's the one we're going to be setting up to. So what we have here, the study settings, the first one, you need to identify that bar duration study we just loaded. So we're going to use that bar duration subgraph to draw colored blocks. There's two selection modes here. It's the colored blocks and colored bars. And I'm going to start with colored blocks. And as with all my studies, by the way, the description button here will show you a web page of all those study settings and what it does and how you could use it. So refer to that if I'm not making too much sense on video. Okay, colored blocks. We're going to select how many blocks you want to display. So let's start with 50 blocks here. And we have identified the colors for the slow speed, an average speed, a fast, and a parabolic speed. And speed is reverse with the duration, so you'll see an average speed has a higher number than the parabolic speed. So 10-second or lower duration is parabolic speed in this case. And if you have anything above 40, then it's a slow number. We're going to fix the blocks we want to draw, fix them to the bars, and we have a vertical position of 90, which is somewhere up here. So let's see how that looks. So these are the 50 bars plotted with their associated color reflecting the bar duration. As you can see, there's a few high speed ones, average speed ones, and then it starts to slow down after 230. And this color blocks, you can also increase it and you'll show it. And these are actual representations of this bar having a high speed color as identified with the color identifier. So these colors actually are the speed associated with this bar, because we have loaded that bar duration on this chart. Something I added is that if you don't want to color blocks, but you want to color the bars in that color, and you can do that by switching the mode, and you'll see the bars being colored. And this is actually a good thing as well, because you can now, if you look at the tool values window, you see that there are actual subgraphs identified for different bars. If you have a parabolic bar here, it's colored pink, but that parabolic bar also has a value of 1. So you can use that with simple alert conditions. So if you come out of a certain condition and you have a high speed bar, you might want to have a simple alert condition identifying that situation, and you can maybe use that in your alerting. So that's the color bars. So it's good to see this on one chart, but you might have another time frame chart or another chart you look at most, and you want to also have an indication of speed of this, in this case, the 500 tick chart on another chart you use. So you can do that too. So this example, we have that 5-minute chart, and we load up that same Colorblock study. We identify the 500 tick chart bar duration study with that subgraph. The same thing. We're gonna tell the study to use colored blocks as well, and we're gonna have 100 colored blocks and fix them to the bars as well. See the same thing here, but in this case, this block here is associated with actually this bar on the left chart. So this color is not associated with this bar right here, because this is referencing the other chart bar duration. As you can see, it's pink here, then we have a purple, and then we have a few bunch gray, and then pink again. You see that this block thing is actually showing how the 500 tick chart is moving. So that's the way you can have a view on how the 500 tick chart is moving on another time frame chart. If you don't fix it to bars but make it relative, you can do that as well, and it will show you blocks, and they start to draw at a certain point, have a certain distance, and depending on your scale of your chart, you will see that distance change. So it's a relative distance. So we could optimize that a little bit for this chart. We might want to make it a bit slower and push it a bit more to the right. And then you get that same representation of the last bars of the 500 tick chart and how speed works. And as a final thing, you could also say, well, I don't want to see color blocks here. I want to see color bars. And the color bars, if it's loaded, you will see that it will take the nearest candle of this chart and plot it and take the value of the other chart and use that color. And that's also something you could use in the way you set this up. So now you will see that this, let me see, yeah, this 1055 is actually the 1055 here, speed up here. Of course, this highly depends on time frames used, and you will have to see how useful it is. If there's a live update of the chart, it will show the last value on this bar of the 500 tick chart. So that's something to play around with and see what you like, but you can get an indication of a other time frame chart and actually see them on this chart. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all and it's of use in your trading. I updated the studies, so have a good look at it, see if you like it, and let me know. Thanks for your attention and have a great day. Bye-bye.